Okay, welcome to my YouTube room again, or YouTube channel. It's called the Baccarat Edge. I put out an introductory video basically explaining a little bit about myself and what we're going to try to do during this course. So if you want to know a little bit about me, go back and look at the introductory video. And that will give you an idea of exactly what we're going to be doing here in the road we're going to be going down. Today, we're going to be discussing the Baccarat trend. How to follow a Baccarat shoe, when it's trending, when it's not trending. When is it actually going sideways? When it's in an uptrend or when it's in a downtrend. So, what you see before you is, this is a regular Baccarat tote board. We see this in all the casinos. Every casino we're in, we see this particular form of a tote board. This is the more common one right here, the one I'm highlighting. That's the more common chart that we all look at when we're looking at a Baccarat chart. You got the big eye road, you got the small road, then you got the cockeye. And of course, you got the beads right there. Now, this particular shoe you're looking at, this is a live shoe. Or let me rephrase that. This was in a real casino, a brick and mortar casino that I had played live. And what we're going to get into is, and this, as I was charting this, it was starting to dawn on me how I could track this. I am a day trader. I trade Forex. I trade commodities. And I trade stocks. So, this particular shoe right here, I can't tell the trend by looking up at the tote board. Yes, you see runs. Let's get that out the way. Here's a banker run here. Here's a player run here. Here's a chop run there. But, you know, a lot of times when I'm looking at a Forex chart, whether it's E-mini, Japanese yen, whatever, British pound, whatever, I have to back up and I need to see a chart so I can see the trend. This is not telling me a real trend. This is not telling me if it is going up or if the chart is going down. Let me show you how I look at it. This is going to be a game changer, fellas. Ladies and gents. This is going to be a game changer. This simulation program is from B&B Simulation. He runs hundreds, if not thousands of shoes on B&B Simulation. There's no affiliation. I don't get paid for mentioning his name, nor do I get paid for referring people to him. I just think he did a very good job, as I said in the first video, in customizing software package for Baccarat. Let's look at this shoe. Let's run a simulation here. Run a couple of sim just to get something random. This right here is a random shoe in Baccarat. Let me show you exactly what I'm looking at here. Bear with me, I'm new to this, so. This is what we see in a casino. This is all we see in a casino. The chart above that, this chart right here, you have no idea exists if you're not charting it yourself. That's what you call a banker index chart. But this chart right here, to me as a trader, and sometimes you're going to hear me say trade, sometimes you're going to hear me say bet. They're synonymous. I'm just so used to looking at day trading charts all day long. I'm just used to using trader lingo. But this chart right here, if I'm just looking at this chart right here, I don't need to see none of this down here. Now, correct myself. I do like to look at banker player numbers. Right here, you see 40 total in this shoe. You got 43 bankers and 30 players. That's a big gap. Even though you might be looking at that number, the chart is telling you even a whole lot more. This chart is telling you a whole lot more. Even though you might be looking at these numbers right here, that chart is telling you a whole lot more. Now, to understand the banker index, here is how I look at the banker index. And don't get me wrong, there are some YouTube channels that pay attention to the banker player. That's the key. But being able to see it in front of you visually, it's a game changer. That's a game changer. Being able to see this chart in front of you because you have visual reference now as to what is going on. The banker index chart. Here's how the count goes. You add 1 for banker and you subtract 1 for player. This count has been around forever, as long as I've been playing Baccarat. E. Clifton Davis. I got it from E. Clifton Davis. The count. He has all of that count in his systems. He's been doing this for years. Just putting a count or keeping up with the banker and the player. You can assign any number you want to a chart, but as long as it's giving you the trend. Right now, here's support down here, and we're going to get into market structure. And then you can just draw a trend line straight up. Boom, comes down to the trend line, boom, takes off again. Notice it has hard time. This trend line has become a major area of support and resistance. Here's the sideways market. I call this a sideways market right there. Turn around, and then it goes back up again. There are ways to bet these patterns. There are ways to bet these patterns. Look at this right here. This is resistance. That's resistance. That's a breakout. Then you got resistance up here. You only got one banker, but nonetheless, that's a breakout. Comes back down to support right here. Player. It cannot get past this right here. and that's a +7. It can't get below +7, and then boom, it turns around and goes back up. Either you can wait for one confirmation right there, or you can wait for the breakout and just bet banker the duration of the shoe. Now, of course, this is hindsight is 2020, and we will be going over playing this hand by hand. So you'll have some type of idea of what to bet. Now, let me remind you, this is not a system. This is just an approach. It's a logical approach. When I am looking at numbers, I want to see a chart. That way you have an idea of which way you're going. You have an idea of which way that trend is going, because you want to bet with the trend. We got a saying in trading, the trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. So now that we're on the other side of this zero right here, because anything above zero is banker. Anything below zero is player. So now that you have an idea of how to bet this, then you can say, you know what? And here's basically a rule that I have. If it's dancing between +3 and -3, flip a coin. But I lean more so towards whichever side of the zero is on. So if it's dancing between 0 and -3, I'm a favorite player. If it's dancing between 0 and +3, I'm a favor banker. When it goes above +3, you're definitely in a banker shoe, without a doubt. When it goes below -3, you're in a player shoe, without a doubt. Let's run another shoe. Generate another shoe here. See if I can find a player shoe. This is sideways action right here. We'll discuss this too, but guess what? Look at the trend. It's favored to the player. To me, it's favored to the player because it's on the negative side of 0. There are ways to play this, or there are ways to bet this. There are ways to bet this. The trend is sideways. We're going to get it. In trading, we call this range trading. Either you can sit on your hands. Now, you got 3 options. If the trend is up, you can bet banker. If the trend is sideways, flip a coin. You can bet either one, but I favor, like I say, I favor to whichever side of the 0 it's on. If it's below -3, then you favor player. We're gonna get into trend analysis in this particular episode. This is a sideways shoe right here. This is probably the hardest, or one of the hardest shoes to play. When it's sideways, nobody knows which way to go. But it's easier to look at and say, hey, this shoe is favorite player. I'm only going to stick to player. You can go up 1, down, up 1 when you lose, down 1 when you win. It's all kinds of ways to bet a sideways market. I am not a fan of the martingale. Oh, man. I lost my ass one time trading the martingale. That was no fun at all. I lost my tail trading the martingale. But guess what? If you're going to at least trade the martingale or bet the martingale, bet on the side that's favored. That's a nugget. That's a nugget for you. But on top of the nuggets that I'm dropping you guys now, this is a game. To me, this is a game changer. This is what's going on in the game of Baccarat. Even though the banker is favored, but if that shoe is trending in one direction, let's see if we can find a player favorite shoe here. That's a banker favorite shoe. I want to find a player favorite shoe. Here's a player favorite shoe. Player favorite shoe. Let's look at this. You got banker hitting resistance. Let me explain to you what resistance is, meaning it's hitting, the banker keeps hitting. Resistance is a ceiling. It can't go no higher than a particular point. Support is the floor. That's support. Can't go no lower than a particular point. You got resistance up here. Can't go no higher than a particular point. We're going to get into market structure. I just want to point out to you guys how I'm looking at the trend right now. And by the time, probably, funny thing is, by the time I finish telling you guys how to trade support and resistance, you might be able to look at a Forex chart or look at a simple stock chart and say, you know what? I see this stock hitting resistance, or I see this stock hitting support. Let me buy me a couple of shares or sell me a couple of shares and go short. That's another trading lingo, going short. Won't get into that here. We're talking about Baccarat. But yeah, you can say short because now you're betting on the downside right here. If this keeps hitting resistance right here, you're betting that you're going to catch a player run. To me, this is a game changer. I'm not charging for this. I just thought you guys needed to know. Because I know there are I have ran into several blogs on the internet where a couple people were talking about, I day trade. I can't tell you. I lived in the Chicago area for quite a while, and I played at the Indiana casinos, and I played at Rivers Casino a lot. I can't tell you how many traders were at those Baccarat tables. So many I can't count. And if they see what I'm charting right now, it will click on them, boom, just like that. They would immediately get it. But I'm coming from the point of, you guys have never day traded. You don't know what a stock chart looks like. And I'm starting from the beginning. I love playing a game of Baccarat. I love trading. Let's get back to this. So at this point, the trend starts to go down. You can't tell, but now let's get into this. Right here is play 11. You got resistance right here, and you got resistance right here. Play 15. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I don't start playing till I get to hand 15 to 20. The chart has to start to build up before you can decide which way the trend is going. Hand 15 goes to positive five, the same way hand 11 did on banker. Let's go down here to this chart and look at hand 11. 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's this hand right here. That's hand 11. Hand 15 is right here. You cannot look at this chart until they're hitting the same axis up here at a positive 5. You can't tell that by looking at this chart right here. Think about that. But you can go to this chart and say, hey, this chart's hitting resistance at +6. So when that turns down at +6 right here, you got a confirmation to get in. You have a confirmation to get in. That's your confirmation right there. Let me thin that up a little bit. That's your confirmation right there. Here's your breakout. And I know this is hindsight is 2020. I think I said that earlier. But it's going to be important to know how to trade a breakout, a pullback, a counter trade. There are several patterns that we can look at trading this chart. This is all I need to see is this chart right here. I don't have to go down here and see this chart right here. Look at the sideways action right here. And actually, you can go down to this particular one right there. Look at the sideways action right there. Starting at hand 41, if you go down here, and look at hand 41 on the banker, that's hand 41 right there is a banker. And a tie came, did the tie come after that? No, a tie did not come after that. 41 is right here. Tie came before that. That's hand 41 right there. You can't tell that hand is hitting resistance. Hand 43, which is on a different axis up on this chart, you can't tell that it's hitting resistance again. I will be sitting on my hands. I will be waiting because it is in between +3 and -3. I personally would be waiting. I would be sitting on my hands right here. This whole section, I would be sitting on my hands. Then it goes and makes a new high at hand 46, 45. That's hand 46 right there. These are on different axes, and you can't tell that these same banker plays on this big road is hitting resistance in this area. And what do you want to do when you hit resistance? What do you want to do? You want to wait and sit on your hands and wait for it to get out of resistance. The play is right here. That's where you start betting player. The play is right there. We're going to get into that. The play is right here. The thing I want you guys to see right now, though, is you have to look at a chart and you have to get into, okay, is this a banker favorite shoe or is this a player favorite shoe? It was banker up here. I was banker up here, and you can say banker, anything above 0 is banker favorite. But then when it broke down here, and it got to this point right here, man, turn on the juice. Turn the spigot on. Pull the button. Pull, as we say in trading, pull the button. Push the button. Push your mouse. Get into the trade. And any pattern that you have that is favorite for player, guess what? you would have won the majority of those plays. And that's all we're looking for in Baccarat. You want your hit ratio to go up big time. You want that hit ratio to go up big time. Man, if you're hitting 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, 5 out of 6, you're on a fucking roll. Excuse my language. You're on a roll. This is how you follow trends in Baccarat. Well, this is how I follow. Hopefully it clicks with some of you guys, because what we're talking about here, now the average table, man, I went in the casino, and that was my first time in the casino a month ago in years. In years. I love the game of Baccarat. Of course, life gets in the way. Didn't go to the casino for a while. Got into my trading. Got heavily into my trading. And I decided that I was going to go to the casino. I just needed a relief. I said, let me go play some Baccarat. The average table now is $50 to $100. You'd be lucky if you find a $50 table. Do you know the last time I played Baccarat, the minimum was $10? That's how long it's been. And I've been playing, I got into Baccarat in the early or mid 90s, early 90s. Up in the Washington, D.C. area, we had what you call volunteer fire departments. And they had what you call casino nights. I got hooked. It was on. But what you do is you just chart the way everybody else charts, because that's what you see everybody else doing. That's what you see everybody else doing. So you chart the way they chart, and you try to make it work. Yes, I know banker is favored. I know banker is favored. But guess what? Man, if you're looking at a chart this way and you see the breakdown, this is what you call a breakout right here, and you just start betting player from that point on, boom. I have a way to enter and I have a way to stop. Now, my betting strategies are not perfect, but you might come up with your own good betting strategy. But I am giving you a foundation here on how to play a trend in Baccarat. We're going to get into this. Welcome to the Baccarat Edge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and continue to watch my video channels. The Baccarat Edge on YouTube.